In the gospel of Jesus Christ, we believe that before we came to earth, there was a war in heaven, a conflict among us, God's spirit children. On one side were those who sided with Satan, supporting his plan, a life on earth with no mistakes, no pain, no grief or sadness, guaranteeing that everyone would return to God. On the other side were those who chose to follow Christ. His plan embraced the risks and trials of earth life, knowing it would mean forgetting our premortal life, experiencing heartache, and facing real choices that carried the weight of consequence. Under his plan, not all would necessarily return to God, as it depended upon our choices and faith in him. The fact that we're here on earth today means we chose Christ's plan. Those who followed Satan were cast out and now seek to keep us from returning to God, wanting us to be as miserable as they are. Before preparing for the 29029 event, I often wondered how a spirit living in the very presence of God could have chosen Satan's plan. Then a thought came to me. Perhaps it wasn't that these spirits didn't believe Christ's plan was right, but rather they looked at the journey ahead, the discomfort, and the uncertainty, and thought, I could never do that. So what does it say about us, those who chose to come? Did we simply not understand the depth of discomfort and pain that mortal life would bring? Maybe. But I like to think that we saw discomfort differently. We viewed it as the doorway to transformation, growth, and the chance to become more like God himself. We looked at the challenges and embraced them rather than turning away, trusting not only in our own potential, but in God's power to turn trials to our advantage. I believe that, in choosing Christ's plan, we face discomfort head-on, welcoming it as the path to becoming more divine, the key to shape us in a way that would allow us to live with God again. Hello, everyone. I'm Meg Tilton. Welcome to a podcast that is designed to help you access powers that lie within you. A podcast that will help guide you and empower you to know, feel, and most importantly, use all the emotions, experiences, and parts your Heavenly Father has blessed you with in a deep and progressive way. You were sent here for greatness, for a purpose, and your ability to accomplish all you want and need is not outside of you, but in you. This is where I will teach you to use that power in a way that will move you forward like nothing ever has before. I'm thrilled you are here. This is episode 10, Lessons from the Mountain Part 2, The Importance of Discomfort. I could never do that. I lost count of how many times I heard this when I shared my goal of hiking 29,029 vertical feet in just 36 hours. It wasn't the first time I'd heard it either. Throughout my life, whenever I set a challenging goal or shared an ambitious experience, people often responded with disbelief. And I'm guilty of saying it myself when I hear others daring goals. But the truth, I could never do that, is a lie. It's a limiting, progress-stopping, dare I say, Satan followers' belief that has no place in the life of someone seeking to be like God. If we are truly being honest with ourselves, in most cases, the statement, I could never do that, really means, I don't want to feel the discomfort that doing something like that will bring. It's not about our capabilities. It's about avoiding the emotions and physical pain that a goal or challenge might stir up. We often let our emotions control what we will or won't do, defaulting to comfort over growth. Our brains work against us by leaping from where we are now to where we'd need to go and calculating all the potential pain along the way. That's when we hear the voice saying, I can't do that. But what if we led with our spirit instead of our emotions? What if we sought growth and expansion rather than comfort? What if embracing discomfort is actually the whole point of Earth life? In the grueling 35 and a half hours it took me to climb to Everest height, I learned that we are all capable of far more than we think. With the right mindset, Any mountain, literal or metaphorical, can be conquered. We just have to want it enough to push through the discomfort and reach the summit. But how do we actually push through the discomfort to reach the summit? Today, I'll share 2 powerful skills for embracing discomfort that have helped me and will help you not avoid discomfort, but use it to your advantage and as the path to achieving your goals and dreams. Preparation. Effective performance is preceded by painstaking preparation. Brian Tracy. My friend and I signed up for the 29/029 event in November of 2023, almost a full year before it would take place. With so much time ahead, it's easy for the mind to delay preparation. But true success comes from looking forward and anticipating what your future self will need. Both of us knew that completing an event of this magnitude wouldn't happen by chance. It would require careful planning and relentless preparation. So in January, we began training and didn't stop until we walked the red carpet and claimed our red hats. What did preparation for an event such as this look like? We hired a coach who provided weekly workouts tailored to our progress. We trained through all kinds of weather, snow, rain, and intense heat. We learned how to fuel and hydrate our bodies for sustained endurance, pushing ourselves to build resilience. I listened to others who had completed the event, learning from their experiences and quieting my mind when it tried to tell me this was impossible. Their stories reassured me that everything I was feeling was normal. Preparation over the last year was the foundation of our success, but we had an extra advantage. This wasn't our first physical challenge. My friend and I had trained for numerous full and half marathons over the years, teaching our bodies and minds invaluable lessons about pain, perseverance, and strategy that carried us through the training and ultimate success for this challenge. The one thing I kept hearing over and over again from the organizers and past participants of 29/029 was that our success really came down to 2 things: mindset and fueling. While fueling was a bit of an adjustment, we incorporated it easily and soon came to enjoy having to consume 30 grams of carbohydrates every hour. I mean, who doesn't want an excuse to eat Mike and Ike's Swedish fish and Rice Krispie treats? When it came to mindset, I knew that in the end, that would actually be the thing that would make or break our success. I knew that if I let doubt take hold at any point, it would be the thing that would keep me from continuing to climb. But again, past endurance events had taught me this. I knew that doubt would be at the forefront of my mind when the discomfort ramped up. Going into the event, I was prepared to expect the unexpected. Previous physical challenges had taught me that no matter how well I trained, something unforeseen would always arise. And it did. Right at the start, I felt pain in my left groin and lower back, something I'd never experienced during training. Rather than letting it derail me, I took measures to manage it, and eventually it subsided. Later, I developed exercise-induced asthma, also a first. But mentally, I was ready to adapt to whatever came my way. As I reflect back on the actual event, the physical pain actually was nothing like what I thought it would be. In fact, the pains that had plagued me during training were a non-factor during the event. I 100% attribute this to my willingness to feel discomfort in my preparation and not make it a deal breaker in my success. Flexibility. Be clear about the goal, but be flexible about the process of achieving it. Brian Tracy. Before we began hiking, we spent an afternoon listening to inspirational speakers. Among them was Colin O'Brady, co-founder of 29/029, who has embraced discomfort and pushed his physical limits through remarkable challenges. Colin, now in his late 30s, shared 3 stories that underscored the importance of resilience and adaptability. The first story involved his attempt to break the world record for cycling across the U.S. with a friend. They took turns biking every hour and a half, pushing from California to New Jersey. Things went smoothly until they hit Death Valley, where the temperature spiked to nearly 120 degrees with no breeze. Colin's heart rate skyrocketed, and by his rest period, he was suffering from heat stroke. His team quickly worked to cool him down with ice to ensure he could continue. Despite the intense heat and unforeseen obstacles, they went on to break the record. In his second story, Colin described rowing across the Drake Passage, a notoriously treacherous stretch between South America and Antarctica, with one other crew member, a strong Icelandic partner. A few days in, they faced a massive storm with 50-foot swells, forcing them to anchor and huddle together in a cramped one-person cabin. He confessed that if a get out now button existed, he would have hit it during that storm. They endured 5 more days of storms, but ultimately reached Antarctica. His third story was perhaps the most harrowing. Colin set out to cross Antarctica solo in an attempt to break another record. Equipped with only skis, gear, and a 250-pound sled, he began his journey. On his first full day, he unexpectedly fell into a 400-foot ice crevasse and missed plummeting to his death by gripping an edge of ice with only his fingertips. Against all odds, he managed to pull himself out, a feat he's never been able to replicate. Miraculously, some snowmobilers found him, returned him to his starting point, provided new skis, and he started his journey again. The room was tense as Colin recounted these moments, but his message was clear. Each experience was grueling, uncomfortable, and provided plenty of reasons to quit. Yet Colin knew that achieving his goal required not just preparation, but a willingness to adapt. He explained that in some cases, flexibility was literally a matter of life and death. As he put it, don't make your circumstances become your excuses. We often have detailed plans for our lives, events, or relationships, plans that feel safe and familiar. We prepare and lay out the exact path it will take to achieve our desired outcomes. But what often stops us from reaching our goals isn't that the plan or preparation didn't work. It's our unwillingness to adapt when things don't go as expected. The best preparation allows room for change. Flexibility within a plan is vital because sticking rigidly to it can lead to unnecessary discomfort and ultimately failure. My friend and I set a goal to reach 12 ascents before taking a longer rest. But by 10:30 p.m. on the first day, as we finished our 9th ascent, it became clear that we needed to adjust our plan. After consulting with coaches, husbands, and each other, we decided to finish one more ascent, then take a break for a shower and a nap. I felt a twinge of disappointment. I had wanted to stick to 12, but I remembered the advice from event veterans about staying flexible and responding to what was actually happening, rather than rigidly following my original plan. Looking back, I'm certain this willingness to pivot was essential to our success. Had I kept pushing, the ascents would have only grown harder, likely leading to burnout and jeopardizing our finish. One of the coaches shared a story that underscores the importance of flexibility. At a past 29:29 event, a woman had climbed nonstop, determined to finish. She was just 1 mile from finishing with plenty of time left, but her body and mind simply quit. She had pushed herself past her limit and couldn't lead her body with her mind any longer, so she had to stop within sight of her goal. Life is full of unexpected turns, and learning to handle pivots without resisting or feeling defeated can actually move us closer to our goals. I want you to think about flying in an airplane. Turbulence often hits without warning, unseen and unpredictable. But planes are engineered with flexibility, with wings that can flex up to 90 degrees, far more than is usually necessary. This ability to bend keeps them stable, able to handle unseen bumps in the journey. Without this flexibility, turbulence would make every flight rougher, and the plane itself would sustain serious damage. Preparation and flexibility don't eliminate discomfort, but they make it manageable. Instead of letting discomfort slow us down, we learn to lean into it and even use it to move forward. I know that embracing discomfort may feel unappealing, even triggering discomfort just thinking about it. But it's one of the best kept secrets to a more fulfilling life. By embracing and navigating discomfort, we unlock a powerful tool for growth and lasting success. When you're pursuing a big goal, something you've never done or even something you've tried and failed at before, your mind will try to convince you to quit to avoid discomfort. It argues that present pain isn't worth a future goal. But here's the key lesson I want to share about discomfort. Discomfort only leads to one outcome: possibility. Discomfort is the gateway to all the possibilities of life. When we're willing to feel discomfort now, we open doors to future opportunities. That is why embracing discomfort is such a powerful skill. Learning to endure physical discomfort is important, but enduring emotional and spiritual discomfort is equally crucial and allows us to grow closer to our Savior, Jesus Christ. Think about the discomfort he experienced throughout his life. All of it prepared him for the ultimate discomfort of the atonement. The agony he endured in Gethsemane was a test of endurance, and it was the ultimate discomfort fest. But what did all that discomfort lead to? Possibility. In fact, Christ's example teaches us that discomfort is not something to fear. It's a sacred path to transformation and growth, and it leads to only one thing: endless possibilities for all of us. So, my friends, I want to encourage you to run towards the discomforts of your life. Go after that big, audacious goal. Seek out that dream you've tucked away for a future date, and heal that relationship with someone that has lingered in anger and resentment for too long. Do the things today that will prepare you for the completion of that future goal, and then be flexible as you step into the discomfort of executing those steps. Doing these things will most definitely lead you down a path of discomfort, but just remember that the only thing you are delaying by your unwillingness to embrace and feel discomfort is a world and life of endless possibilities. If you are liking what you are hearing here on the podcast, would you do me a huge favor and go leave a review for me? Leaving a review helps this podcast reach more listeners like you who want to gain emotional mastery and truly love themselves. It doesn't take long, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you step just a little closer to knowing that you are already whole and complete, and that every part of you is loved and enough. You truly do have all the power inside of you to accomplish the work you were sent here to do. Come back next week to learn more and continue to access the power within.